Go round the rise, say, Amama Seta. Ashidu, Ashite, Ashu on vibrations, everybody. May your mind, buckas, and souls be all. May your armits be sound. May your buckas be leavened off ground. When we keep to the breath, the earth, the mothor, the seon, the soul of Ra guides and keeps you all. I am I say Ra. L-I-E say L say I. The Ma'ed, Christ Story Chaplain, Tata Amen, Say Ota Ra, the Sound Messiah. I'm a truth awareness, true talk. Can be a part of the greatest transfer of Ma'el, that's intelligence, Aminology, to Ungodu. This is sound logic. And with all that being offered to you, being a fool is absolutely your choice. To raise Ray 1926, we're dealing with a 9. We're dealing with Goa. We're dealing with spending probably up to $100 on average a month on sliced bread is your choice, just like being a fool, because that is foolish. This is another sound logic calibration. We're decoding the word bread, ration, helping you recognize and realize that you are the bara edu. Stop being the bread. That's a big ritual of self-consumption. And even worse, it's a ritual of consuming souls, consuming the Ba of Ra, the ones that were added to go do. You know, you're dealing with the Son Messiah, right? That's why I want y'all to go to Jesus.com. There you're going to get the Ibaka to Omen, because that also was part of the big spell. It's breaking that Lord's Prayer that got you begging and consenting for Lucifer to go take from Ra and go deliver you your rations that could only come from Ra. So that means it would have to be in place of Ra. And I keep telling you, these Dracos, every demon, every spirit, all of those things in the God Draco network are operating under the false authority of Ra. I am the Ma'aba Se Duor, that you call the ambassador in English, to Ra. There is no other. All right? So I know what I speak. You understand this? I'm the one who's bringing the correction, the division, setting the line between the word, which is God, and sound, which is Ba'am, Ra. So we're dealing with bread. Okay, so we're going to start off right off the bat with where I left off on that Lord's Prayer. Give us this day our daily bread. They're speaking of rations. Okay, so rations. You got to look at that word. You have Ra, and then you have Shin. Okay, so that's Shu-en. Okay, so that means Ra gives you entitlements to move. All right, so a ration is something that gives you entitlements to move. Now, if you're looking at food being associated with a ration, then it's easy to realize without food, you couldn't move. You'd be less of movement. You understand this? All right? But more importantly, on the spiritual realm, on the esoteric realm, in the demonic realm, those of Ra have extreme authority. Okay? When you don't realize it, or you are contracted out of that authority, well, that's how they get you. But when you stand in your authority, and the only way you can stand in your authority is if you're of sound mind, okay, of sound logic. And without obtaining the Mathorian Kagadora, which is the very first thing that you all need and should do, okay, so go to Google and Apple and get that. It is being developed right now. I could assure you $17 is going to be very, very small price to pay just for the app, let alone what it's going to be able to do for you and for this whole entire galaxy, what it's already doing. All right. So go get the app, Google or Apple. You can go to AmonRa.com and get the printed versions. All right. And then you'll be able to see how the Kagadora tells you Okay, when you are getting I shouldn't say weekly, your 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 rations. Okay, we have a 9 cycle. Okay, our week is not 7 rays, it is 9 rays. Okay, 9. So definitely, it's something that you all need to realize. The Kagadora puts you on a different thought line off of that Gregorian ledger. All right, it tells you it's got 1 to 6. Those are when the energy field is a little lower. And then we get our big delivery of Ra Shu on the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Okay, if you watch the Crypto Shit Shower update, you'll know what we're talking about. So that word ration, spelled R-A, I believe T-I-O-N or something like that. It's telling you right there that raw thoughts keeps the soul on. Okay? It only comes from one place. So when you're praying to the Lord to give you your rations, okay, you're praying to Lucifer, who is acting in place of the rations. Because if you're tethered, there's no praying. You're busy raying. There's a big difference. Praying, the P, is parasites raying. A parasite can't ray. So only a Ra can ray. So the Ra then puts a parasite on, and that parasite is the language we're using, the symbology that we're using. Okay? So we got to know anything when it comes to ration. Rationalize as in reason with thought. This is all source. This is the master, the true source. It can't be Lucifer, it can't be any Allah or any of these, all the same thing. Okay, those are the word, that's the parasite, that's the software. The people operating the software are not it. They are operating it. Okay, it's a big difference. The Bible is the God. Okay, the Bible is what is operating, and people are taking their instruction from. They're following from. Okay, any problem, they're going to point to the Bible and say, well, this is what it says. You understand how it works, people? Okay, but Ra is up in that sky. It's that red Seon that's constantly being blocked. And there's a yellow one and there's a blue one. Okay, and they have fake ones that block the real ones. All right, but they can't be blocked too much because people are seeing them. Okay, they look just like planets. What you would call a planet. It's all the same shit. Okay, some people call them the Bureau, they call them all sorts of shit. So we got the ration out of the way. Now we're dealing with the bread. Okay, so bread spelled B-R-E-A-D. So we're going to go backwards. The D is for do because it's at the end. Okay, if the D is at the beginning, usually it means to detach what is coming after it. But if it's at the end, then everything before it is what the program is telling you to do. You understand this? And so then we're dealing with the A. So now that means artificial. And what is it artificial? It's artificial ore. Okay, so it replaces the ether. It replaces the ore. So instead of being ED is how we would say ed, is how we would say the word add to the program mean to put something to another, to make something more, to add something that was not, would be ED versus AD. Okay, so now it's telling you to do the artificial. Okay, so add AD means to do the artificial. Artificial do. Okay, that's what it means. AD means you're doing something artificial, not real. Okay? And now we have the RE. Well, that means to continue on. That means eternal. And what is that? That's Ra. Okay? That's the Seon that sustains life, that keeps things on. Okay, when we see the RE, it's another aspect, it's the product of Ra, which is radiance. Without radiance, which is the delivery of information, of intelligence, it's the broadcasting, then we're not getting a message. We are lost. There's no movement. Okay, so this is why you need rations. And this is why rations come in the form of the ba. So the B at the beginning of bread is for the ba. Okay, so this is your circuitry. This is what you would call a motherboard. This is what allows you to receive the signal. Without the ba, you're left with a ka, and a ka without a ba is dead. And so then we call it a body because the ba has been detached. Okay? It has the clear D sound. It doesn't have the d like the bread. Okay? You got that. All right? So the ba of Ra is doing artificial. So when you are a soul and you go to the store and you buy sliced bread that is bagged, the ba and the go is bag, bago, okay? The ba allows you to go. For all you guys thinking you're decoding the hieroglyphs and all that shit, and you know you see the Sumerians holding the what looks like a purse, and you're making all your bullshit. I'm telling you right now, and I've said this before, it is bago. Okay, so that means they have the ba of Ra. You understand that? So they're showing you who the imposters are. Okay, these are that's all involved in like the Egypt. All of that stuff is part of the what you want to call the thieves, the ones that fell. Okay, and gave power to the parasite over the baka. You understand this? Okay, and so without the ba, you have no go. Okay, and so if you have no go, now you are being salvaged because you're under a language contract and you spoke yourself out of entitlements. Okay, so it doesn't matter about there's lots of people out there selling you, trusts and all these types of stuff. Every single one, they're trying to make you believe that the Draco acknowledges it. And so anything that they acknowledge, they have authority over. Okay, so I'm not about making it in Draco's world. I'm about exercising the entitlements of Ra. Okay? You understand that? And so for that, you have to be sound logic. You have to realize that you are the Bara Edu. You're the bread. Okay? And so if you are the bread and you're going out to buy bread, that means you're consuming yourself. All right? And then your master, who you are, can consume you. And this is why when you eat bread, it believes to give you strength in the form of the Savior, because you're eating the flesh of Christ, right? Like when they put those little crackers in your mouth and all these things, you're simulating eating flesh, eating bread, because bread is the baka, okay? Because the ba of Ra is being added to you so you can go do. You understand that? Okay, and so when you see in the Kagadora, you have your daily Bara Edu. I'm actually going to change it, okay, because I called it a Ma Ra An Tara, like mantra, Ma An Tara. But now, recognizing and just doing this, I realize I need to call those daily sound commands, the Seandu, Kamandu, Kadu, okay, the Seon sound commands that we got, okay, the ma, the ra, the shu, the ta, the se, the the ba, the ka, the go, the do, the so, the re, the ed, the on. All of those, what now are bara edus, are your daily sound codes. Okay, so they're forms of mental rations to keep you going on your journey of doing, right? And so it's like pep talk. Like, so today, I got to be reminded that my thoughts are getting breath. Okay, so these are your daily rashu. Okay, ra ed shu. Okay, ra ed shu ons. Okay, ra shu moves you, adds you to life. We got to know this. All right. And so if you are a parasite, and that means you're consuming your host, okay? Understand this. All right. So we got to understand that like when that word bread is huge. Okay, and it's programmed right there in the Lord's Prayer. You're asking Lucifer, who's in place of Ra, to take souls and give it to you, not realizing that you are the bread, and everything that Lucifer is taking from one to give to you, you should have that already. Okay? You should have that already. Now, the practical side to all of this is you're saving yourself a whole lot of money. You're exercising your stewardship. You're reactivating genetic memory, or you're reinstituting genetic memory through real experiences. This is feeding yourself. Okay? This is producing now, not consuming. Okay, this is flour, this is oil, olive oil, this is yeast, and this is water and salt. Okay, that's the bare minimums. Then you could add your butter. If you're into your sugar or whatever, you can do that. And you could add anything, any types of flours, grains, and things into it. Okay, just think about this for a moment. $4 for a loaf of bread, maybe more in some places. Okay, and then on top of that, we're not going to talk about you are not in control of what's in it and the process. And so you're doing that 5 times a week easily. Easily. If you're by yourself, a good three loaves a week, easy. If you're with 2 people, that's going to be 5. And if you're a family, that's going to be upwards of 5. So you're not getting away with spending less than 25 bucks a week just on breads. Okay? And a lot of people may argue about how it not being the most healthy and stuff like that, but what this whole thing about is you're the bread. That's what that code word is. You understand that? And so when you go and you're buying something, you're breaking your entitlements. Because you're now saying that you are on the other side consuming it, believing by eating a soul that you'll have the power and strength of that soul. This is what's happening. By eating the Ba of Ra, you'll be able to have the power to do as the ones of Ra get to do. You understand this? All right. Yeah, this is serious. We need to stop saying we're eating bread. Okay. What you need to be doing is bread. You are the bread. Okay. So you're producing for yourself. Okay. Bread is a command that allows you to do. Right? So you actually want to be the Bara Edu, not the bread, B-R-E-A-D. Okay? It should actually be breed. Right? If we're going to go short, this is why Words are spelt short without full sound because they don't give you the full code, so you don't get the full command, so you don't get the full benefit. It's negated. Okay? But breed would be the same, ba ra or ba re ed. So the ba of ra adds you. Okay, so when you breed, you're acting in the spirit, the ba of ra, because ba that's what gives the spores. That's what gives us everything. Okay, is ra. It's not Lucifer. Lucifer wants you to believe the morning star and all this morning sun that rises and falls, like all of this shit. Like, come on, people. All right, be who you are. You're the vamps, you're the Dracos, you're the reptiles and stuff like that. You ain't Ra. Okay, you're not Ra. Okay, you may say raw meat so you can secretly continue to eat the children of Ra, which are not just the upright beings, right? Because everything that has been taken from the cells is now, still has the aspects of Ra in it, still can receive sound. So in order to activate your senses and deactivate your opticals, you need to go to jesus.com and sign up, okay, for the solarization, because I keep reminding you, okay, that when you're not tethered to Ba'am, okay, that your mental health is directly tied to your etheric compass. Okay, you guys need to realize and recognize, okay, that you got to get retied to Ba'am sound. Okay, and that means being a steward, producing for self, not going odd, okay, and waiting for, and relying on God. Okay, it's about go do, being the bread. Okay, I'm not making bread. Okay, I'm doing bara edu. You understand that? Okay, you can't call what you're eating things. Okay, because you got to realize the reality that if this all comes from the source cell, then these are all different aspects. You understand that? They're all different forms. Okay, so even though it's nice to have its own little pet thing to communicate, because if we were all from source and we wouldn't need these types of languages, we would need to be moving in the way that we're moving, which is not moving. We would be actually moving and just doing and not needing explanation and all that shit, because we can sense what's happening. So when you can in your senses, then the language becomes a totally different purpose when you're in your senses. You understand this, people? So we got to stop going out, and that's the big ritual. Okay, and of course the prices are going to continue to go up and everything like that, but all the bakas, this is what we need to be doing. There's not one baka that should be going out and buying bread. Okay, because you can't buy something that's already, this is all part of it. All the Draco is doing is obstructing you from getting access to yourself. Okay, it's like tying your hands so you can't reach your balls or another part of your body. Okay, that's their power, is obstructing. Okay, and then causing you to do whatever it is to gain access and these types of permissions. It's basically flipping the mirror script. They're the ones that need permission. Okay, and we got to stop giving them permission with our language. It's all we need to do. We don't need to protest. We don't need to do shit. All we need to do is change the way that we're moving. Change the way that we're calling and saying things in the privacy, or it doesn't even have to be private, but to ourselves. And when we each unplug, pull the plug out, that's less power. And then pretty soon it dies. You understand that? This is what needs to be done. Okay, this is with the reference to the plug, people. All right? So, making bread's trending. Very easy to do. You get your flour, You get your container, you boil some water, you then put your yeast in the water. This is what I do. You put your salt in the water. I put a little bit of olive oil in the water. Okay, and you just let it sit for maybe 20 minutes. Okay, and then you put your flour inside that mixture. Okay, and then you mix it around and you knead it around. Okay, but you don't want it to be like you want it, you know what, I'll make a video one day of me actually making it. Okay, but there's so many videos out there. Go watch a video, go watch a YouTube video, and just start doing shit like that. This is what's going to activate your genetic memory. Okay, or it's going to reinstall new memories. You got to stop being consumers and start being producers. Okay, if it's not for the money alone, just think about it. If you're spending $100 a month on bread, and now you're reducing, your cost to about $25 a month, probably even less. Okay, probably even less, and maybe you might be able to eat more bread, healthier. Sorry, more breed. Okay, and healthier. Okay, and remember, the reason why we're saying breed over bread, because AD means you're being added to the log, which is algol. ED is adding to the tree of life. Okay, so if what you're doing is adding to the tree of life, that means you're breeding. Okay, you understand that? Okay, so you're not buying bread, you're breeding. Okay, and breeding is any action that adds to the tree of life. Okay, so anything that you are doing for yourself is adding to the tree. If you have to go work to then go buy food that's coming from the tree, that means something has taken from the tree. That means you've paid someone to do what you're supposed to do. Right? Somebody's making something to be sold. They're not making something to eat. These are laws that are forbidden, when Ra takes over, when sound logic is in under reign. Nobody's doing that shit. No Baka is doing this shit. Okay, this is why it's a terror for these Dracos, anything that I'm doing, because my logic is the truth. It's the sound logic. It's a big problem with food, people, is that like we're not producing it for ourselves. Okay, something over here is grown to send to people over there that can't grow. That itself is the problem. Okay, there's no foods that should be shipped. Any foods that should be shipped are foods that absolutely cannot be grown in a certain area, and even that's it. There's a reason for that. Okay, there's a reason for that. Okay, and so if that area was plumaged and doesn't have what another area has, and that's the consequence. It shouldn't able to go on, because it'll never correct itself if it's gonna be augmented and have a parasite application replace what has been removed. This is what I'm talking about, people. Okay, so we need to be breeding, not breading. Okay, when we're breading, and breading is the process, the curse, the cycle, the ritual of millions and trillions of loaves of bread being bought every day and made every day. It's one of the biggest curses that we have. You understand that? And I just broke it multiple ways. Tell you what it is not, who is bread and who is Bara Edu. Okay, and bread comes from Lucifer. Breed is Ra. Okay, and Lucifer has no authority to even be calling it bread, because that's the mask. He's not dealing with the Baal. Lucifer, those things deal with spirits. So we're going to also correct it. So the correct word for going out, and if this is perfect, thank you, Ra. Okay, because I was asking for this question, you guys could know, because I'm just talking, searching for answers in my head, and I just got it. Okay, it's Abarad. 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 Okay, that's what you're buying, Abarad. Ab replaces the ba, we're reversing the BA to AB. Okay, so it's A, B, ab. And instead of R-E, it now becomes E-R, ab, ad. Aberad. That's what you're buying when you're going to the store. Okay, you can't call that shit bread. Okay, it sounds too close to bara edu. Okay, I'm a bara edu. I'm a baka. Okay, we are bara edus. The what you call a baron. Okay, I'm a true bara edu. Okay, all you guys in your masonry and lodges and all this types of shit. You got it right. You guys are all listening to me in secret. You know. You know. Okay, I can just giggle and laugh. Okay, you gotta release the people. I need some money to keep building, or you guys are not getting your shit. Okay, because I know it. Okay, I know it. I'm educating you guys. Your own Lucifer can't do the shit for you. Okay, you understand that? So it's Aberads. Okay, the Aberads are part of the Arabs, and those people are against Ra. They're absent of Ra. You understand that? So Ab, Riad. Okay, that's what Aberad. Sorry, Aber, not Abri. Aberad. Okay, Aberad. Okay, Abrad. Okay, so this is it, people. Okay, when you're going out and you're going out and buying what you call bread, now you're buying ad because you're now absent. Okay, you're ashed, which is and you're added to algol, which is the log. Okay, bread means bara edu. Okay, and really it is breed. We wouldn't use the letter ad. Okay, it's ed. Ed. Breed. Okay, so the sliced bread in the store is ad. And you're not eating bread. You're doing bara edu. Alright? Bara edu. And this requires making for self. Alright, so go watch the video and go learn how to make go learn how to bara edu. Alright, like I said, we're gonna work on it. But when you're taking in nutrients, sustenance, and all these types of things, okay, you're adding self to self. You understand that? You're adding self to self. So we got to get away from all this language. It's very important. Okay, like I said, just think about the ritual of everybody going out and making a sandwich and eating bread and all this types of stuff. Then this is a soul ritual. Okay, because you're saying that you're eating souls. Okay, you're eating Ra. Okay, you're eating the bars of Ra. Okay, you're eating the baka. Okay, you got that. All right, so go out, learn how to bara edu. All right, go learn how to make some bread. But if you want to learn how to be bara edu, that can only happen at Sound Logic Studios. All right, so get the Aminology course at jesus.com, savbysound.com, aminra.com, erectionary.com, masterpiecefactory.io, bakai.com. All right, let's effing go. And don't forget, mothor.org is being upgraded. And yeah, I'm excited. All right, so bara edu.